Those are the sounds of another legend who since moved on, Mankunkungu Ziakalinkomo, 10 down, 3 o'clock. Brilliant is here. Love that name. Nyambi. He is from African Unite. Apparently, they're putting a petition for South Africans youth to be heard by the United Nations as the world body looks to put together the post-2050 Millennium Development Goal. The studio is here to explore more about it. Brilliant. Welcome.
Welcome. Good afternoon. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, my brother. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Before we can talk about this whole program of yours, introduce me to African, this whole idea. How did it come about?
Okay. Thank you very much. So, Africa Unite, it's a non-governmental organization based here in Cape Town. What we do is we work with young people from different backgrounds to promote human rights and to promote social and economic development. Mm-hmm. So basically that's what Africa Unite is all about, working with young people from different backgrounds. So what we do is annually, like yearly, we select young people from across Cape Town, different backgrounds. We bring them together and we train them as human rights peer educators. So what we expect from these young people is when they go back into their communities, they should become change agents. They run human rights information sessions. And issues of human rights, they're not so complicated. It's everyday life, their experiences. What can you do for your community? What change do you want to see in your community? And so, basically that's what I can say. We run a lot of programs at Africa Unite, and
like social skills, life skills for them, just to bring dignity to the youth.
Exactly, because basically when you talk about human rights, it's all about respect and dignity. So that's what we want to achieve, and basically.
So you've been doing this since when?
Started in 2001.
2001.
Yes.
So you've been around since the past 13 years?
Yes, we've been around since the past 13 years. And with time, our programs and our focus has been broadened.
So take me 13 years ago, and how far has it gone? Where are you? Do you see? I'm sure others have graduated now.
Yeah, that's true. And what I can say is for the past years, we've been training a lot of young people around here in Cape Town. I think as I'm talking right now, you can realize that there's one person who has been trained, who's listening, who has been trained as a human rights peer educator. So at the end of the day, what we want to see is we can't train maybe 500 young people and we do not want to see change. We want to see them also develop. So once we train them as the human rights peer educators, we also want to see like social mobility within the young people. Young people advancing from one stage to another stage, like a better stage. So, like I mentioned, we have trained peer educators in the past years, and our hope is to see young people progressing.
Okay.
We are living in a country, first of all, which has the highest population of young people. So, if young people are not developed, we are going to see a country which is crumbling. Above all, young people even constitute 60% of the population.
So they must take their rightful place where they belong.
Yes, that's true.
And call the shots if it happens to be.
Yeah. They should take the initiative.
I'll take you back. I remember just after the new dispensation, even before events leading to the new dispensation, we started moving from the township, going on the other side of the railway line, other side of the highway, and we started changing accents, all about that. And then 20 years down the line, after 1994, we called the same youth again the lost generation, and something might have gone wrong here, or is it like embracing what was not supposed to be us, or what? I don't know. Educate me.
I think there are a lot of issues to consider when it comes to young people and issues of identity, especially tracking back into history, because we are looking at a situation whereby in Africa there's a background of what I can say imperialism, and at the same time we see that there is now independence amongst most African countries, but we also have globalization. So young people are I think they're just being bombarded with a lot of issues, and
they're under severe pressure.
All goes down to what do you want to achieve as a like personally what do you want to achieve and what is your vision. So yeah, I can also relate that to what we do at Africa Unite. It's not only about the human rights education that we offer. Like you mentioned, we also offer issues to do with life skills. We run even sessions in high schools so that they can also start to see a vision, career guidance, issues to do with that. Because like I mentioned, issues of globalization, identity, a whole lot of issues, they pour in and they give extensive pressure amongst young people. And that's why you start to see we have in communities which are crumbling sometimes into drugs, and because these young people, they do not have somewhere to stand to identify themselves as this is who I am, like self-actualization. Yeah.
I think I agree with you, not to some extent, but I agree with you in the sense that I'll put the blame not only on the we also were subject to of the whole the apartheid system, the Bantu education. It's worse now. The education system it's worse.
Yeah, you can mention
than before in a way. So. You don't know where you should steer the youth to. In as much we'll discuss these ills and what. Then at the end of the day, they want to put the bread and butter here. That's where we're heading. We've inherited a capitalist society, a dog world society. Like if you're poor, we chow you. So, so do you have alternatives of like changing their lifestyle in a way rather than psychologically we might change them, but now provide at the end of the day.
I can also comment even on the education. That's a very important issue you're talking about when it comes to education, especially in South Africa, because we are seeing a fast growing economy in South Africa, but a fast growing economy demands also people who are educated. And it's quite,
and these things are not in par.
They are not in par. You don't even understand why the economy is growing, yet most of the people, they're getting quantity education for all, yes, but not quality education. As you can see, even on our petition that we're going to be talking about, it's one of the main issues that young people are raising. We want quality education in South Africa. It's quite a bit.
My guest, brilliant Nyambe, saying brilliant things in the studio. 0214486266. He's from African Unite. And he's already led me into the petition, of course, the petition. And of course, we live in a world now. Before 1994, even 2 years, we won't do this. By the time, if we've done this before, I'm sure the police will be waiting outside or outside the studio. Come, you're not to. Clement Divine. Petition.
Yes.
What does the petition say? Why the petition? Who are you going to hand over the petition? The same person going to hand over the petition also needs education.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. So when it comes to a petition, it's quite a very interesting topic to talk about. Let me just take you back to what happened before and what led to the petition. So if you have ever heard about the Millennium Development Goals, which were started by the United Nations, mainly they wanted to focus on the year 2000, what we call the new millennium, saying we have a new millennium coming, and right now we want to focus on how best can you achieve development together as countries. We want to measure development, because we can't just keep on saying, no, what about this country? We want to measure development together, to say as the United Nations body, as countries involved in the United Nations, how best can you achieve maybe issues to do with poverty together? How can you measure it? So they set up goals, 8 goals, which range from eradicating poverty, achieving gender equality, combating HIV and AIDS and others. So there were 8 goals which they set. And these goals they're supposed to be ending in 2015.
Okay.
They're supposed to be like a reflection of how countries have achieved these goals in the next 15 years. But what matters most is these goals were decided by world leaders or the people who are representing us in the United Nations, there was few consultation of the civil society. Few people.
Me and you on the ground there.
We were not consulted. We were just told in the next 15 years, this is what we want to achieve. Of course, these are really pertinent issues which they raised, but sometimes it is good to reflect to the people what they want to see achieved.
And hear their voices,
and hear their
saying
voices.
themselves that, hey man, I hear the thought and I feel the thought, you know?
Yes, that's really true. Because for me, I would say development is best defined by the owner. If someone comes to you and defines development, then it's not development. I should define my own development. So this time, since we're approaching 2015, they said that the United Nations, the focus right now should change. Let's go to the people and ask them, what do they want to see post 2015, in 2015 going onwards, after the first framework has been finished? What do we want to see?
But before we go there, how is it doing now, that one? The one they laid, how far? Are they meeting those goals, or are they going to...
It has been a center of debate because...
I know they're very tactful. They can change an agenda, then you forget.
Yeah, it's really true, because if you look at in Africa, of course, quite a number of countries are trying to achieve here and there, but generally, the framework has not been really achieved in a way that we can celebrate that. Yes, of course, issues of poverty have been addressed, but not fully. We still remain with the countries which are suffering. And yeah,
I was shocked to hear basic statistics like there's still countries which are still getting malaria, polio.
Exactly.
I mean, these things were developed in the 1800s. You know, like, come on, please. You know, United Nations, where are you? What are you doing? You know, in a way. But now you saying, what are you? Are you also jumping on the same bandwagon? Or like, okay, preparing ourselves now for what the United Nations are saying? Or what? Okay, let's see. You're on Bush Radio. Hello.
Hello.
You're on Bush Radio?
Yeah. I'm phoning according to a job that I heard about yesterday, man.
What a job, my bro?
About a handyman.
Handyman, what?
A company here in Cape Town. I wanted to write the number down, but I didn't get the chance, man.
Okay, my bro. Fadi number 021?
021
448
448
54
54
50.
50.
All right.
What number is that, sorry?
021
Yeah.
448
448
54
54
50.
50. Now what number is that, sir?
Oh, you gotta call the office. They'll help you out. Okay.
Is that the company?
Okay, shame. No, these are things we're talking about. Brilliant, you know. Yes, a youth, you know. He wants work. He wants job.
Yeah.
He had something on the program, job shop, and you know, he's calling here. You know, the bread and butter issue, the issues what they're concerned about. You know, and we're talking about that. And United Nations I'm not laughing at this. You know, it's just the true essence of how really things are.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm quite. I don't know how to express this, but it really also touches me to see even a young person calling and trying again to get the number. This is what we're talking about even here in South Africa. We are having a population where young people, they do not even have proper economic opportunities. They do not have, and they're struggling. But yet they constitute.
And the country is so rich, eh?
Yeah, it's really rich.
This country is rich. I don't know.
Yes.
Are we exporting their money or importing them?
One wonders.
One wonders. Yes. So my question was still on that United Nations agenda. What are you also falling into the or what? Or you still gonna guide them? Say, okay, this is what. Yeah, that's gonna.
Yeah. So I was still explaining. Now we say the focus is now on the civil society. United Nations said, since young people are the ones who are going to be the most active during the year 2015, maybe out of the year 2030, let's ask young people what are their dreams of the future of Africa.
It's not even a dream, really. It's what they want to see.
Yes, what do you want to see? So what happened is, in Africa, an organization known as African Monitor, which is an independent continental body which monitors development and funding at grassroots level, it was given the mandate to run what they call a Voice Africa's Future campaign.
Okay.
So it's more of listening to the voices of Africa. So they took a sample of 10 countries.
Okay.
To say, in these 10 countries, we want to hear what the young people of Africa want, because it's really, it becomes a long process if they involve all countries. We can spend 10 years. So they took a sample of 10 countries.
Okay.
And amongst the 10 countries, South Africa was
one of those
selected. Yes. And in South Africa, Africa Unite was given the mandate to
facilitate.
Yes, to facilitate the campaign. So what we did is, last year we went around Cape Town, and also in South Africa, if I may take it back a little bit, in South Africa, the campaign was mainly run in the Western Province, KZN, and the Eastern Cape Province.
Okay.
Yes, so we
specifically, or what was the reason?
No, the main reason was that, again, you can't focus on the whole country because there's a specific time.
Okay.
And
time constraints and everything.
Yes,
logistics also.
Yes, logistics and all that. So we collected a total of close to 12,000 voices of young people asking the question, what is your dream for the future of Africa? And so basically what we are saying is, young people in South Africa, they voiced out. They voiced out and they want to see this being achieved. And 5 main issues came out. After,
common things.
Yes, the common things. So the first one was access to education and skills development, whereby 18% of the young people were saying that. And the second was employment and economic opportunity. They want to see employment and economic opportunity. And the third one was better health. Fourth one was improved livelihoods and better governance. So we are just taking back into those issues, like localizing these issues. We see that when young people maybe talk about better governance, they want to see also our local structures
functioning. Not being dummy bodies.
Yes, we do not want to see corruption. We want to see transparency. And they also talked about access to education and skills development. They want also to be developed in terms of skills and education. Because if you look at the situation whereby we have a lot of young people graduating in universities.
Don't go there, my friend. There are a lot of them.
You don't see a lot of young people in the workplaces. Even
sitting there in the taverns, saying I've got a degree in this and that.
But it's a pity, because right now they are even asking for internships, access to internships, because it's difficult to crack the employment structures. There is what we call a concrete ceiling.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, so at least if they get internships, So this is what young people basically were saying when we were collecting the voices, and from there now we are saying the voices are there, but a voice can be a voice, but if it's not shown to the right person or heard, then it remains voiceless. So this was last year. So we are now focusing on the second phase of the Voice Africa Future campaign. So the first phase, all countries collected, the 10 countries. And now we are all on the same page in the 10 countries in Africa. We are on the second phase, which we call the influencing phase. We want to influence local authorities. We want to influence our local policymakers, so that they can, before the UN starts considering this should also be considered within our country. We can't rush to say the UN, whilst even
at home.
It
starts at home.
It starts at home. Charity begins at home. And we are saying that if these issues are considered even at local level within our own country, then we can stand at a better position even to say, in as much as the post-2015 development framework, the MDGs, did not really consider the issues of young people. I'm proud that in South Africa, the government is starting to consider.
They're looking at. So they are the right track.
Yes. So with the petition now, what we want to do is, these are the issues which came out. We want young people to sign the petition. They are what we call youth champions that were trained. They were trained, there are 20 youth champions across Africa. And in South Africa, we have 3 youth champions. 2 are based in Cape Town, and the other one is based in Johannesburg. So they'll be moving around with the petition. Young people signing. We want to get in as much as maybe 18,000 signatures of young people, and then we show the petition even on
To the
local
UN.
level and to the UN to say young people want to see this. There's power in numbers. If you join the numbers and say this is what we want to see the next development framework being like, then I believe we can get this.
Or if not the other solution, then we put them in front. They take their rightful place.
Yes.
Of course, they're the majority.
They are the majority. That's true.
Don't you think so? I think they need to take their rightful place. Maybe things will come right. Brilliant. Thank you, man, for coming. Can I follow you on the Facebook or anything?
Yes. You can follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook page for Africa Unite is simply Africa Unite.
Okay.
Yes, there are a lot of things happening there, events. And on Friday, we have an upcoming events.
Which is? Yeah, tell us more about it.
Basically, the event is celebrating Refugees Day. Like I mentioned before, we work with young people from different backgrounds. So we want also to celebrate with the young refugees to say, in as much as things are hard in Africa, let's celebrate the refugees. So everyone is invited. It's at 6 Spin Street, starting at 10 to 2.
That it used to be Idasa.
Yeah, Idasa building
Okay.
in Cape Town. Yes, and we've got also our Africa Unite Facebook page. It's hashtag Africa Unite. Yeah, you can follow us there. And if you need to contact us, you can even call on 0844 683 916.
Brilliant, Eddie. Thank you, my brother, for coming on Push Radio.
Thank you very much.
Just gone 3:30, and it's time for us to catch up with the news headlines.